1st of September here, and we just had the first rains after June. Basically, the last rains we had were in June. And now I'm going to show you our syntropic fruit forest, because my colleagues and we cleaned everything, we weeded everywhere, so it looks pretty nice right now. Here we have lots of fruit trees and let's call them helper trees. So mostly pioneer trees like this guy, Polonia, fig, this fruit tree, Feijoa, and it goes on and on and on. And you see, this is the 4th or 5th month of the growing season, and it really starts growing very, very quickly now, which is very exciting to see. Over here we had potatoes and onions and other stuff, and we cleaned most of it because we're gonna get a lot of compost next week, and we're gonna do market garden style vegetable production here in between the alley, because here's the other alley on top of the mound. This is a swale, and I'll show you this as well. So here we have some fruit trees like this is a kumquat, citrus fruit, and again different types of pioneer trees or shrubs to fix nitrogen, to provide shade, etc. This is a lemon tree here, and so on. This here is asparagus in a row next to the row of fruit trees, with a row of beans, and here's another row of trees, and shrubs. And I wanted to show you something that I also showed in another video, because one of the most important things in this kind of syntropic agriculture style of management is to regularly cut biomass and to let the system produce its own biomass. This, by the way, is goji berry, which is pretty cool. So yes, coming back to the biomass thing, what we did is we had a lot of sunflowers here in between all the rows, basically next to the fruit trees, because we wanted to create some shade and some organic matter input for the system. Here, by the way, we produce turmeric, or curcuma, and ginger. And so now I'm going to show you what's left of the sunflowers, because I just cut them this morning, most of them. And what we do is, here we have another citrus tree. So next to it, in this alley, in this row, there were lots of sunflowers, and we just cut them into small pieces. We harvested the seeds, and we basically made a huge pile of it. This will be broken down during the wet months, and this will fertilize the system. Yeah, here you can see it's very clean now, because we had a lot of wild flowers sown here in spring, so it was pretty beautiful, lots of different colors. But after a while they become a bit too big, so we didn't see the trees anymore, and I decided to clean everything. So we lost a little bit of diversity, but it definitely helped the trees survive. Here we have sweet potatoes. We planted purple sweet potatoes and orange sweet potatoes. There we have some banana trees, which are doing okay-ish. They didn't always have enough water, that's why they didn't grow as fast as they could have grown. Here another alley we prepared to put compost on. Again, same thing. Here we have some leftover corn, butternut, squash, tomatoes. This is another tree row. There after behind we have some eggplants, aubergines, which are doing okay-ish, but the problem is we are invaded by an exotic ant species, which is very annoying here in Corsica. They basically attack almost everything, from fruits to vegetables, and they are everywhere. Even when you are cutting the sunflowers, they are there to bite you. Here we just yesterday actually we put in some raspberry plants, and we are making a bamboo structure to keep them all together when they are big. This is the last tree line, also on top of a mound, and here this is a kind of wild vegetable garden that my colleagues manage, so it's a little bit less designed in rows, well, small rows. It's a bit more diverse, which is pretty nice to see. Lots of different stuff in here. And I know I'm mistaken, actually this is the last tree line here, with some pretty rare stuff like pawpaw here. This, by the way, is elephant grass for the biomass, so this, like the sunflower, will be cut to improve the fertility of the system. And this is how the garden looks like from this side. So yeah, this is what you get when you plant syntropic agroforestry style projects after 5 months or so. Most of it was planted in February, March, I think, most of the trees. So you see all the tubes. There's a drip irrigation, all automated, so every day they get a few minutes of water, which definitely helps them because here it's so dry in this Mediterranean context. And the objective is that thanks to those soils and thanks to the soil improvement, that after a couple of years, once the roots have really developed as it should, we actually don't need or rarely need irrigation anymore, even for food production, because they will be able to find their own water. But we'll see if that works in this context. Might change from one year to another, because sometimes we just don't get any important rain for 4 or 5 months. So even the best adapted system might actually suffer in those conditions. But we'll see. That's what we are going to test.